Hey everyone, it's me, John Steele from Redneck City. Got some news for y'all. I don't know if I want to go for the full story or the short story, but let's just say a couple weeks ago I had one of my moments, like usual. Uh, I decided I'd act stupid, obviously. Uh, Mostly out of crazy love for my girl, Carmen McCoy. But I decided I'd take off on the racing mower, and uh, my dad tried to stop me. I wouldn't listen, mostly because I'm 18 now, and I had it in my head that I don't have to listen to him anymore, that I can go do my own thing, that I always have to tell him where I'm going, when I'm going to be back, or anything like that. And I know what I did was wrong. I know my dad was trying to stop me because he wanted to help me, and I didn't want to listen. So when I took off on the racing mower, I made it about 2.5, maybe 3 miles away from the house on the 4 lane at night. It was almost middle of the night, and the mower started bogging down, which I still don't know why it did. It might have been because I might still have it overgoverned the way I adjusted it, which I'll show you guys in the next video. Uh, right now it's currently 11:35, but almost middle of the night. But in the morning I'll try to get out there and do a quick video for y'all. But the motor started bogging down, like it was getting either too much fuel or too little fuel. And first thing I was thinking, which I've had this happen before, I was thinking maybe one of the bolts or nuts come off for one of the tensioner pulleys. Well, idler pulleys that I put in, and the belt might have caught underneath it because I've had that happen before with it. But the belt was just fine. I let it sit for about maybe, I'm guessing, 6-7 minutes. And I tried to fire it up again. It ran, and by the time I got it fired up and got seated back in it, my dad come flying up past me to a screeching halt, and I took off through the snow as fast as I could because the storm had just hit a couple weeks back, and the snow's still melting 2 weeks later. We ended up getting well over 1.5 feet of snow here in Virginia, Tazewell County, Virginia. If y'all around here know where I'm at, uh, but I went back through a back road trying to get away from them. They were right on my tail when they caught up with me about halfway down the road. And by the time they caught up with me, uh, I was getting ready to slow down to make this turn, and my dad came up beside me, and he started moving me farther over towards going off the road, which the way that the hill was built was set up on the side of that road. If I would have gone off that road, I probably wouldn't be here right now, because there was a really gnarly barbed wire fence right at the bottom of that hill, and I would have rolled several times, probably broke my neck and other stuff. Uh, but I hit the throttle harder and tried to take off, and the throttle stuck. and I was able to get up past him before he could get me off that road, and ended up right back on the 4 lane. I was trying to get back on the southbound side of it, and couldn't do it without it because it was starting to tip over. So I just went straight through the median, which was pretty deep because I had a ditch in the middle of it. But I made it through that and ended up on the northbound side of it, heading southbound, which is wrong side of the road. I made it about another mile, probably, in the mower. Done the same thing again. Started bogging down like it was either getting too much fuel or too little, and ended up slowing down right in front of the Ramey's next to the Happy Mart off exit 5 for Tazewell, Virginia, and stopped right in the turnaround spot in the median. My dad got there. He called the cops. It was probably another 25 minutes before the cops got there. Me and my dad had some words, which I know he said some words he didn't, wish he didn't say, and I said some words I wish I didn't say. But once the cops got there, they got me and my dad to stop arguing, and started. They called a towing company in, come tow my mower, because I also had my mower trailer hooked up to it with most of my clothes and some other few things I need for the mower, like some gas and stuff like that. I ended up towing all that all the way over to it was Sheets Towing that come and got it out of Tazewell, and I was on my way to my girlfriend's because I wanted to move in. Well, as you can see, I'm not in my regular room here. I'm not living with my parents anymore. I'm living with my girlfriend now, which she's sleeping downstairs and I'm upstairs. But after the cops got there and stuff, went through most of that crap of getting the mower towed. They gave me a ticket for reckless driving and driving on the wrong side of the road, going the wrong way. And I called my girlfriend's phone, and her mom picked up. And they came and got me. I was sitting in the back of the cop car, first time not being handcuffed in the cop car. And the cop that I was in the car with, he's dealt with me before out of other stupid stuff I've done. And this time he wasn't even harsh with me. He was actually pretty cool with me this time. The last few times I dealt with him, he threatened me with quite a bit of charges and stuff. But I got there, went back, got here at their house, and we stayed up most of the night talking about these different things and why I did what I did and everything. And finally went to bed. Tried to go back over to the towing company Saturday. See, it was Thursday night when I done this. It was a Thursday night when I done this. Almost a Friday morning. And Saturday went over and was able to get my clothes. Because, the towing company there is usually closed, but they still run their trucks on the weekends. But I was lucky that someone happened to be there at the company and was able to get my luggage without any charges on that. And then finally, a couple of days ago, I was able to go get the mower. Went and paid the ticket off. It was $96 on the ticket, which, thank God, it was that cheap. Because I kept praying when I was in the clerk's office that it was going to be below 200. Well, it was well below 200. $96. That's pretty good for a ticket like that. I still got the ticket with me somewhere. Oh wait, no, I don't. I forgot I turned it in to the clerk. But after I went there and paid off the ticket, I went and got the mower, and they only charged me $75 just for towing, and that's cheap. That's cheap for around here. It's usually almost 200 to tow anything, especially with this company that towed my mower. Now I got another company I'm friends with that I've worked on some of their equipment for them, and they'll give me the same. They would have given me the same price, but the company that had hauled my mower, they didn't charge me storage. They only charged me towing, which I was lucky for that. Got that taken care of, and I've got the mower back now. Earlier today, I decided to go. My girlfriend's lives on a small farm, basically, with a field. And today I took the thing out and played around in the mud and snow. The snow's still 4 inches deep, still working on melting. But whatever clear spots there were, I went and played in those muddy spots and in the snow and stuff. And the thing overheated and seized up. But I'll show you all that tomorrow. But yeah, I was able to get all that stuff back. And that's basically it. I don't think I missed anything. I mean, me and my parents kind of have made up, but I don't know if I'll be able to work it out to where I can ever come back. They've let me come back and get a few of my things, but I still got all those mowers, parts, weed eaters, and all that other crazy equipment, along with all my tools. I'm just gonna let them keep my shed because my girlfriend and her family's got a garage over here that I'll be able to work in. They're gonna let me have half of it. It's a T-car garage, but they'll let me have half of it to work in, and that'll help out a lot with that. But other than that, right now things are going fairly good for me, except for the fact I've been trying to get. I go to Graham High School. Well, I'm supposed to go to Graham High School to be able to get on the vocational bus to go down here to Tazewell to the Voc Center because I do GD in the mornings, and then in the afternoons I take small engine repair because I've been trying to get my own small engine business started. So I've been doing that to gain a little more experience and knowledge and what I need to know to be able to actually make good money doing that. But really, small engine repair is just only more of a hobby than it is a career. My plan is if I can get a job before too long, after I get, I'll be able to get my license within the next month. Once I get my license and maybe even a vehicle, to try to save up to be able to go to technical college. I'd like to go to UNOH up in Ohio, northwestern Ohio. That college is a part of. If anybody has ever heard of this college, it's a part of the Nationwide Series in NASCAR, which is pretty cool. It's been my dream since I was wee little. I mean, real little. Ever since I started watching NASCAR, and I'm a fan of Jeff Gordon, so don't diss me all about that. But kind of wish she didn't retire this year, but it's been my dream since I was little to be part of NASCAR. Even if I'm just a pit crew worker, I'll be happy. But I can make $71,000 a year or more. But I'm hoping I can get things worked out where I can do this stuff. But back to the school part. I've been trying to get transferred from Graham over to Tazewell, and they won't let me transfer. So for right now, I'm basically just hitching rides over to the Voc Center and back. Uh, uh, I'm real close to being able to finish my GED. I've already passed my economics and finance, which you have to have that in order to graduate high school or finish your GED. I've already passed my math and my science. Math I passed first try, which I am pretty bad at math. I mean, like bad. I've even tried to help some of my friends that are in GD with me and with math, and I mean, I struggle with it still. But I'm hoping I can pass the social studies test. I made a 151, which you have to have a 150 in order to pass any of the regular GD test. But I'm hoping I can pass the actual test on the social studies because I've been trying for over a year to finish GED. Well over a year. And I'm getting real close. I mean, really close to be able to pass. The one thing I struggle with the most is the essays. Because on these GED tests, they're timed. They got a time limit. You got to finish your essay within a certain amount of time, and you got to have like 5 paragraphs or 200 to 500 words. On the English, it's 300 to 500. On the social stage, it's 200 to 400. Sometimes even 500, depending on what the essay is and what the topic is and stuff like that. Now, I can do good typing the essays, but I've got this habit of watching the clock, the timer, and worrying too much about trying to finish in time. But sometimes I can keep myself from looking at that timer and just keep my head in the game, be able to stay concentrated on typing the essay, and I can get it done pretty good. But I'm hoping I can finish this GD and then be able to get set up to be able to do college, typical college, and be able to get certified and stuff like that to be able to really make some good money so I can actually have a family. But my girlfriend, I'm thinking about asking her to marry me. I'm just not sure when yet, but I'm thinking really hard about it. Because I love her so much. I mean, like, there's no words to explain it. She's my whole world. There's guys that have hurt her in her past, and I'm the first guy who's ever treated her this good and actually showed her how much I care. The other boys she's been with have hurt her in so many ways that it just makes me angry when I hear about it. And some of these guys still try to keep in contact with them. I've walked up to them and threatened their lives if they go anywhere near her. That's how much I care about her. I don't want to see her hurt. And if she's watching this video right now, I hope she knows how much I love her. I really mean it. already 12 o'clock. I guess I best get off of here and get some sleep because we're going to try to go to church tomorrow morning. And it's the same church my parents go to. My dad's going to be in Nashville. Well, no, not Nashville, but somewhere down in Tennessee where Cool Swindle just got his album recorded. And my dad's going to be down there with his gospel group doing an album recording. But my mom's most likely going to be there with my brothers. I've got 4 brothers: Sam, Josh, Brad, and Tim. Sam's 11 months younger than me. He goes to the Voc Center. He's taking CAD, computer aid drafting, and me and him are in the same part of the building. This building has basically 3 different sections, almost 4. But he's in the same section as me, and it's just hard for me not to want to go up to him, just talk to him. I mean, what I did, I know it hurt my brothers. I mean, some of me and my brothers really aren't that close, especially me, Sam, and Brad. We're really not all too close with each other. But my middle brother Josh and my youngest brother Tim were the closest to each other because we like to go outdoors and do stuff. And me and my little brothers got the most in common because we like hunting, we like fishing, we like playing around on 4-wheelers or whatever. And me and my brother Josh, we like to just go out and kind of fool around with stuff on the mowers whenever I've got them set up or running. And we'll go out and play around on them a little bit, just ride around. And then sometimes even play Xbox with each other. And I've played PlayStation since I was little. I've still got a PlayStation 1, which I'd like to get that back from my parents whenever I go over to get more of my things. But Xbox is kind of hard for me to play. But I've almost got Halo 4 beat on Xbox 360. But off the subject of gaming and all that crap, I mean, I've done some stupid things in my past, and I'm glad I'm away from it. But this right here, dipping, this is the one thing that's hard for me to get off of. I've been dipping for 5 years. I have tried for the past 2 years to quit. Now I've been off on what got me started on snuff. I started out on cigarettes, and a week after I started cigarettes, I started dipping. And I've been doing both since. And I used to hang out with the wrong kind of people. I'd sneak out from school and go grab my skateboard and go ride around when I was living up in Newark, Ohio, which it's close to Columbus, Ohio, about an hour away from it, off towards the east. But I used to hang out with the wrong kind of people. I'd go get drunk. I'd go get high. I mean, I'd go do some stupid things. But the only thing I'd ever done was go and get laid with a girl. That's the only thing I haven't done. But I'm glad I don't hang out with those kind of people no more. I mean, there's some people like that I do still kind of hang out with. But I mean, I don't really like spend a lot of time with them. I mostly just see them at school, and we might go out on 4-wheelers and go mudding, or go out riding dirt bikes, or something like that. Maybe still, I mean, once in a while I'll have a beer or whatever, even though I ain't of age. For a while, I got into drinking alcohol a lot. I mean, I'd go to school every morning drunk off my ass. and still walk around like it was nothing, but everyone could see it in my face that I was drunk. I mean, that's how much I used to drink. It was to the point that I could walk around like like I was sober, but I'd still have the look on my face that I was drunk. And mean, I've really done some stupid things. I've dealt with the law quite a bit, or they've dealt with me, to put it in other words. I mean, I've done some pretty rough things in my past, but by the grace of God, I don't do these things anymore, or at least don't do it as often, or just don't even. I mean, I don't go and get high anymore. I've gotten away from that. I still, once in a while, I mean, once in a blue moon, I'll have a beer or some kind of alcohol beverage. But snuff and cigarettes has been the one thing. I mean, cigarettes is easier for me to get off of because I got snuff to fall back on. But snuff has been the one thing I cannot get off of. I mean, I've done everything. I've gone to AA, A groups or whatever it's called. I've been to like over at some churches they'll have like Celebrate Recovery, which is similar to the AA groups. Uh, I've I've tried nicotine gum. I've tried the quitters tobacco stuff. I've even tried going a whole summer with that and couldn't even make it into a month without it because it was just making it hard for me. I mean, I could not sleep. I could not. I mean, I was miserable to be around every time I tried to quit. But I'm hoping that I can get off it before my cancer gets any worse. Because I've already, from right in here all the way to right in here, maybe a little bit farther now since I dip more in the front now. I've already got the beginning effects of mouth cancer from dipping. Just only 5 years. That tells you this stuff is not good for you. I don't advise anybody to go out and just go get a can of snuff or get a dip off of a buddy. I mean, I can't even go to school and stay off of snuff. I mean, I'll either go and find someone that's got it, or whenever I've got the money, I'll get my own snuff or chew, and I will take it to school with me, and I'll do that while I'm there. But I'll do it small enough where they can't notice it, and I'll put it in the back instead of up in my front lip like I usually do when I'm not at school. Sometimes in shop class I can get away with dipping in the front, but now that I used to get in so much trouble with snuff. It's not. I mean, like it's ridiculous. I've worked community service. I've been arrested over it too. Uh, I mean, snuff is just one of those things. As soon as you put that first dip in, you made a mistake. I did when I picked up smoking. I made a big mistake. That's what got me where I am. That's what's caused me to hang out with the wrong crowd. And I used to not want to go to church a lot. I'd just sit there and just ignore what the pastor was saying or what the youth pastor was saying. But the past couple of years, the church we've been going to for the past 4 years that we've lived down here, well, that I've lived with my family and we've been down here, uh, the church we've been going to, I've been starting to pay more and more attention to what the pastor has been saying. And it seems like what some of the stuff that the pastor says is actually meant for just me. because it just seems to speak to me more. Uh, beginning to, well, actually, no. Yeah, like about New Year's, uh, I went with the youth group down to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, to the Winter Ramp. I don't know how many of y'all know what that is, but it seemed like God really spoke to me while I was down there. I mean, I was down on my knees crying, and I'm not a very emotional person, but I mean, I was tore up because of how much God was speaking to me. I mean, I've been changing for the better, but what I done the other night, a couple weeks back, that basically just spit right in the face of God and my parents after what I went through down in Pigeon Forge when God spoke to me. And in my mind, I had it in my head even years back that as soon as I turned 18, I was moving out. It doesn't matter how much money I had or whatever, I was moving out. Because being the older brother, you got more responsibility. There's more expected of you being an older brother or an older sister. Which I'm not saying I'm a girl. That'd just be weird. But I had it in my head that I was going to move out, and sure enough, I done it. And I do regret what I did in one way, but in another way, I don't, because what I did actually teaches me what it takes to be an adult and how I really have a lot of responsibility on me now that I'm an adult. Because living with my parents, I didn't have all this responsibility because they paid for my medical insurance and all this other stuff. I mean, I work during the summers and make some money, a few thousand a summer, and I usually don't spend it before winter even hits. And I was lucky to even have savings bonds still left from when my grandpa, when I was little, he used to always, for Christmas and for my birthday, he would get savings bonds for me. And I still had those. I had about $350 worth in savings bonds. I went to a bank and cashed that out, and was able to pay for the ticket, the mower, and all this other stuff. And I've even been buying snuff again. Stupidity. And I kind of got this mindset: if you get it, don't waste it. I'm not one of those kinds of people just leave something sit around and not make some kind of use out of it. Because I can't stand people that are like that. They just get something and just leave it sit around. Especially like old trucks or something like that, cars or whatever, mowers, whatever, sit and just rust away to nothing. And not use any parts or anything out of it. Or reuse something out of anything. And usually when I buy something, I mean to make some kind of use out of it. Doesn't matter what kind of use I can make from it. I'll find a way to make it work. But I made a pretty bad decision going and getting this snuff, because now I feel like I've got to finish it off. You can't just leave it sit around. Now, one thing that makes it kind of bad that I moved in with my girlfriend, I'm 18 and she's 15. That really is something I gotta be careful about. I can't go doing anything that can get me in more trouble with the law than I've already been in. I mean, I can't go have sex with her or nothing like that. So I gotta watch what I do, because if me and her get in an argument or something, and break up, she could go to everybody and say whatever, that I'd done something, and law wouldn't end up involved and everything, and I could end up having to register as a sex offender. I've already been very stinking close. I mean, very close. I ended up on probation almost half a year ago for a whole year because the last girl I was with, I made a pretty bad decision. It was at school. Her parents and her didn't press charges. It was the school that pressed the charges. But to put it bluntly, I basically grabbed her titty. Out of stupidity. Complete stupidity. I'm letting hormones or whatever control me. And that right there showed me why I need to be careful in everything I do and not to make the wrong move. Because I don't need anything to end up on my record. Now, luckily, this was before I turned 18. That I ended up on probation on, so that's wiped clean off my record. The only thing I've got on my record right now is where I done it a couple weeks ago, where I was stupid and went and pulled that stunt, taking off on the motor and stuff and getting that ticket. But other than that, I mean, my record's pretty much clean. Because when you turn 18, anything you did before you turn 18 that you were involved with the law or the law was involved with you is wiped clean from your records. So, but that's why you got to be careful when you turn 18, because once you do something, it's on your record for the rest of your life. Anything you do can be put against you. I mean, if I did something stupid and went and had sex with my girlfriend and stuff, and we ended up breaking up, and all this craziness happened, and law got involved, and all this, I'd end up in jail. I'd have to register as a sex offender, and it would be on my record for the rest of my life. That would make it hard to get a job. And anymore, you can't. You can't hardly get away with a thing. I mean, something like with weed, you used to not be able to get away with it at all. Now, some of these states are starting to legalize it, and people are starting to get. I mean, you have a limit that you can have, but some people have over the limit and still end up getting in trouble for that. Now, that right there will also prevent you from being able to get a job. So y'all don't get into it too deep if you do it at all, because it can affect you for the rest of your life. That's one thing you got to think about when you turn 18. Anything you do can make it harder for you to get any kind of job, and you'd end up living on the streets, or you'd have to stay with your parents, which I know a lot of people don't want to stay with their parents till their 40s or whatever, or until their parents die. And most people just, after they turn 18, especially with a lot of teenagers like me, you you don't want to be told what to do. You want to do your own thing. You just want to be left alone. Now, luckily, my girlfriend's parents are easygoing, and they'll let me do some things, but some things they also crack on me about, like when I'm smoking, which I've been doing that, smoking and dipping at the same time. These past couple of weeks, I've gotten back into doing it real heavy again after all this craziness. Because I've had a lot on my chest. I've still got a lot, but you really got to watch what you do when you turn 18. It makes it hard because once you turn 18, you have more responsibilities than you did before you were 18. A lot more. Uh, but I'll leave it at that. Uh, I need to get some shut eye before we end up going to church tomorrow. I'm hoping everything goes good. If my mom is there with my brothers. Uh, I mean, whenever I go over to Tazewell High School, because my mom right now she's a custodian worker over at Tazewell High School, but they're getting ready to move up to Bluefield, West Virginia, and my brothers will get to stay in Graham schools. But no, she'll transfer up there, and I won't have to worry too much about running into her after that. But right now, because where once in a while I'll go over to Tassel High School and hang out with my girlfriend, I end up seeing my mom sometimes. I've already talked to her once because that's how I had to get my savings bonds, my social security card, my birth certificate, shot records. Everything that I needed to be able to even get jobs or anything like that. A lot of my records and stuff that I needed to have in order to be able to do a lot of things that an adult needs to do. But so far, me and my mom kind of get along pretty good because she's a little more easygoing than my dad is. My dad's kind of a little hard on me about something. Well, a lot of things. But my mom's a little more easier going about it. Uh, I guess I'll just leave it at that. I need to get some shut eye. And I hope everything I told you will help a lot of y'all out that are just turned 18 or have turned 18, realizing what you will face. But I guess I'll go ahead and go and hope y'all have a great weekend. And I'll see you in the next video.